Welcome to the beautiful campus of the University of Miami. When Donna Shalala came here, she said the campus must be a welcome campus. It must be a place that everybody feel like you home. If you are to be in a really good learning environment, then you should be in a good mental space. So I'm in the School of Education and Human Development, and I'm in the Department of Educational Psychological Studies. I am a member of a group called Global Psychology that includes psychologists across the globe.
You developed the linkages between human psyche and the planet.
So there are people who are dealing with drought, there are people dealing with fires, there are other people who are dealing with like hurricanes. How do we help people understand that they have a role to play in terms of some of the climate issues that we are seeing? That is a mindset. One person get it because I spoke it. Another person might get it because they heard it. Another person might get it because they need to touch it. Tackling all of the five senses. We also have to be producing things that the person can see themselves in it. If I don't see myself in it, then I think this is not for me. I'm not going to participate.
Technology can really accelerate the regeneration of the planet, also in terms of environmental security.
Absolutely.
So there is this Canadian company called RadarTech. I'm vice president.
Right.
So what we do is to develop climate tech that prevents natural disaster by utilizing low-cost technologies that sense or predict or prevent flooding or bushfires or hurricanes, so that the human toll of that natural disaster is much less.
Oh my God.
And also the economic cost of responding and then reconstructing is much lower.
Wow.
It's not very expensive.
You're in the right place to be able to actually think through absolutely amazing solution that can actually, where we can really see a large impact.
And that's why with the University of Miami, we are exploring ways to partner with the RadarTech company in order to research and develop new technologies, including new strategic tools and platforms that can make life easier and safer for people.
You're in the right place. We have a whole campus here that's focusing on the hemispheric, that's focusing on the Marines. Julio Frank's whole strategic work has been focusing on climate and environment. I'm sure that you will be received well here.
A private climate tech company like RadarTech, what type of partnership you envisage with University of Miami?
This is a top flight university, particularly when it comes to research. It has facilities and faculty and experience in the kinds of questions that we're talking about as far as climate-induced shifts and changes. For Radar Tech, it's having a partner that's involved in research, and we would develop relationships to go from research to development, come up with the tools and the products to help answer and address these issues as far as when it comes to the changes in the climate. Having a PhD in biology, the environment is changing. There are certain stressors, environmental stressors, that are becoming more intense and more extreme. That can cause a lot of damage monetarily, human life.
How would you define climate tech?
Technology that is able to have the user be able to anticipate and detect changes in the atmosphere or anything related to the climate, water, land, so temperature changes, air quality, let's say there's a brush fire, storm surge. So being able to have, let's say, the sensors, surveillance tools, operating 24/7. For those who are responsible for monitoring what's going on in the environment, you're constantly made aware, and you have systems already installed and in place to better have you be able to be made aware. The Dominican Republic, it's listed as amongst most at risk for the effects of climate change. The DR, of course, it sits on an island. Even if it's not even a hurricane, just the rising sea levels and a regular storm comes and whatnot, the water comes on shore causing all kinds of damage. It would be good to be able to lessen the damage that comes with that, human life and property loss. So having the technologies on hand, in place, that could serve one for early warning capabilities, less outcome of these climate-induced changes would help the DR, for example, be able to meet its development goals in a much more efficient manner?
For the Dominican Republic, heavily affect the tourism industry, which is one of the main sources of GDP. Dominican authorities being able to prevent and minimize the damage of hurricanes and flooding, and the investment in technologies today is available to natural disasters is much lower than the economic damage that caused to the national economy. That would be economically beneficial.